Hey everyone, I'm Mark.
Hey, I'm Emma.
I'm Shim, we are Sick Puppies, and you're watching Artisan News.
For taking the time again to speak with us. Definitely appreciate it.
All good, man.
Let's just jump right to the new album. What was the biggest challenge or biggest obstacle in getting it done?
What was the biggest obstacle? Probably writing the record was the biggest challenge because we wrote, what was it, like 185 songs?
It was like 350.
300, like 875 songs.
897.
We wrote nearly 100 songs. It keeps going up every interview. And we would write, you'd write 10 songs, and then you'd write this one, and it would sort of like pop its head out and go, like, I'm a good one. And you'd go, wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty, like, next level. Like, we didn't think we could do that, and we didn't think we could do that every time we'd write another song. And so once we had written about half the record and demoed every song, we realized we had about half a record of really amazing songs for us, and then we could sort of pick and choose between the rest. And luckily we went to the label, and they actually said, look, if you think you can do better, if you think you can make like a whole record like this, you can have some more time. So we took the time and kept writing, and it turned into like nearly 100 songs. And that was probably the challenging part, was like continuing to raise the bar every day, because when you write a song every day, sometimes sometimes you want to just go, look, it's enough, we've done enough, and then that's when you'd write another great song. You go, okay, all right, let's do a little more. And so that was probably the most challenging
Hooks
part.
its head out.
Yeah, sticks its head out, like
I'm a good
out of the water. I'm a good song.
Like how?
Like, hello.
But did the label agree with you? Because sometimes label and bands don't, have different thoughts of what they think is a good song, what could be released, this and that. Was there any give and take?
No, not exactly. I think the main thing that happened was we delivered the record, and they probably thought it was going to be more "You're Going Down," and so we handed it to them. We said, "This is the shit. This is the best we can do," and they were like, "Great!" And they listened to it all the way through, and they went, "Well, where's "You're Going Down?" And we were like, "Well, we have that on the last record." And they were like, "Oh, can you? What can we get one of those?" We're like, "Well, we could," and we have songs like that. And basically what happened is, we gave it to them, we said, sure, we can try and do that, and we sort of went away and we let them sit with the record for a couple of weeks. And then they came back and they were like, actually, this record's really good. Maybe we'll just, and we had There's No Going Back as the first single that we did with Desmond Child, which is a great credit to have, and it sort of pushes, it keeps the door open a little longer when people are listening to it, like, oh, well, this is that, maybe this one is a hit because he wrote so many hits. And so that was the only real discrepancy, but it was just a matter of them hearing it and going, because we told them, hey, we're going in a slightly more elevated direction.
There's so many hands in the mix too.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So everyone has their opinion. Oh, this song
Everyone
should make
just-
it. This song should make it.
Everyone just has to sort of get used to it. Once you let the songs filter into your life and you sing them while, if you're in the car or on the train and you go and you hum that melody, then it's a part of you. So you just have to wait for that to happen.
Right. So, you were talking about that whole give and take with the label and, waiting for the songs to filter in. Did it come to you guys automatically did you know as you were writing certain songs on this album, even before it was done, as you were writing them?
When there was magic in the room.
Yeah, Run was one of those songs. We wrote that with a guy named Scott Stevens. He was in a band called the Exies, and now he's a songwriter full time, and he's really good. And he had these two ideas, and one was like a verse chord progression and half a melody, and then a chorus that had a different melody than what it finally became. And he played, like, what we do is we go in and he'd say, well, I got these little nuggets. Do you like any of these? You want to build on these? And we would bring in our things, and we would just pick each day and say, well, let's do that one. So we played these two ideas, and I said, well, why don't you put those together? And we fiddled around and changed it. And then we went from the verse into the chorus, and I just sort of sang, like, I had the acoustic, and like, what if we just went here? And as soon as it came out, it was like, oh, that's like it's a finished idea now. And as soon as we all heard it, we went, this is going to be a good one. And so we spent 3 days carving the lyrics. Like, the progression and the melody came together pretty quickly. And then we were like, oh, this is going to be one of those types of songs. So we have to really make the lyrics count, and we really labored over what it said and what it meant.
Because your music is not, the songs that you write is not clearly definable. I don't think it really ever was. I mean, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, I think that's a great thing, because if you can define it, you can dismiss it. And it's better to be something that people have to think a little more about and have to take more time on, because then it's, like I said, then it becomes part of you. I remember watching the Green Day it wasn't a documentary, the film that they did for American Idiot, the concert film, and I remember the bass player saying that they felt like when they, and I'm not comparing our record to that record, I'm just saying that when he said that felt like they finally, that when they made that record, Green Day was going to become synonymous with good music. It wasn't just going to be a sound or a song or one record or a thing. It was like now they were synonymous with just good music, and that means that you're your own thing. So hopefully, maybe in a few years, we'll get to a point where people will say about some new band, what does it sound like? Oh, it sounds like Sick Puppies.
That's great. And me as a music fan who's into music loves that part of what you guys do. But I think some people who might be on the periphery, I don't know if people ingest music the same way that they once did.
No, they don't.
And does that enter into your conscious?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think when we read some market research on the attention span, especially of our demographic, our primary demographic, which is younger adults. Luckily, since the Free Hugs thing started us off, we have a broader demographic in general than most bands, so at least in our age bracket. But the average attention span of a person now is 5 seconds. It used to be like 120 seconds or 5 minutes. Now it's 5 seconds because they can click, hear the sound, the sonics, and whatever the tone is, and go, I don't like that sound, and then click until they find that guitar tone or that vocal sound or that drum, whatever it is, that I like that type of music or that sound. And so what happens is records become produced exactly the same way. So you can go, that's that type of band. The drums sound the same, the guitar tones are the same. There are presets on Amp Farm, on the Pro Tools rig and stuff that are like, this is the Metallica sound, that's the Evanescence sound. And it's really easy to just sort of do it. So we had to figure out, well, how do we define our own sound while still keeping their attention span? We had to be like, okay, well, from the moment it starts, we have to hook them in, so whatever tone we're using, like, a good example is like Healing Now is Emma's bass line. And so we had this it's just one guitar part and her bass line, and we just had to find the right tone and voicing and go, well, if we're using acoustics or electrics, should we just do acoustics? It's warmer for the start, so that it sort of reels you in and you go, I want to hear more of that, what I'm hearing right now.
It was 5 seconds, I believe, too, right? You wrote it for 5 seconds, attention span, right?
And repeat.
It'd be like, dun 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 dun.
Well, I think we've gotten to know each other a lot better, musically and personally. That's natural. So, I think because we met Mark in LA when we first got over here, so it's been, what, 6 years? It's been 8 years.
I always says 5.
I know, it's always a set 5.
We've all been saying 5 for like
5 years.
That was on the last album tour.
So now it's 8 years, right? We are.
So yeah, time is going by.
Yeah.
I guess, when we jam, we sort of know each other's, just like personally when you know each other's habits, where to go, where not to go. Same thing with music, we kind of know what Mark's style is, so we know, like, after this many bars, you just naturally change to this, or do this, or I'll do like a triplet thing, just because I know that that's what we always do, and it's like ingrained in me. And when you play for that many years together, it's just ingrained in all of you. So it makes it a lot more cohesive when you jam, I guess.
I call it chemistry.
Why it took so long, and part B, do you feel like you have to reestablish yourselves now all over again because it's been so long?
No,
I don't know about reestablishing. We've a lot of bands. It depends on a lot of bands put out like an album a year or whatever it is. A lot of bands, especially nowadays. I think we've kind of been almost the opposite, and I guess maybe you've gotten away with it a little bit and stayed relevant. Stayed relevant, but at the same time, like I think this album maybe it's been a little while, but I don't think our fans have. We have like really great fans, and the anticipation is there, and it's all good. There's no one saying like, oh, it took too long, I'm not a fan anymore. But at the same time, we just want, like Shim was saying, we just want to put out the best quality stuff. So we just basically waited till we had the best songs. We don't want to rush it out. Like a lot of bands, and I'm not saying a lot of bands rush out albums, but a lot of bands can write a lot of songs and put out a lot of albums. And
there are a lot of bands that we've played with and met, and they talk to us about making a record and everything. And then I ask them, and they're like, "Oh, we we write as many songs as needs to be on a record, 10 or 12 songs, and then put the record out.
And write on the road or whatever.
Yeah,
like we're a band that's like kind of built of like our following just by touring so much. Like we literally just play shows. That's how we've built a name, you know. And radio's been so supportive, but you know the main thing is just getting in front of people, you know. And so on the last album we had an opportunity to do that for a few years, you know. So we did it just to build that fan base, you know. So and I think now it's definitely paid off because we can go and tour and play places like Omaha and you know sell out these big venues and you know stuff like that, so it's cool.
But some of the fans, the newer fans that are starting to come up and get into this kind of music now, that were maybe younger, you know, for them it has been
It's
a while,
true.
and they don't have that kind of familiarity. So let me ask you this: you going out on tour? Are you playing, you know, for your fans? Are you playing to win over new fans? I mean, what is the mindset going out?
Mindset's the same as it's always been. You just do the best show you can. Like if you have any objectives about how to get fans or how to attain more signature, any of those objectives will be achieved by doing the best possible show. And that's kind of, I think that's the only reason why we've been lucky to get a good live reputation, which we found out about from other people. We weren't like, they were like, oh, you know, you have a good reputation. So, and it's just because when you play, you just give every single drop you have, every time, no matter how you feel, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. You just play the songs that people want to hear. You get them to sing, you get them to bounce, you get them involved, you get a connect. I know that's kind of where the theme for Connect happened, because our main thing was always connecting with the fans, and then it was really more of a human connection. But then when the Twitter, Facebook, and there's all these connectivity things with the social media, that just was serendipitous. It was like, well, that's, you know, it sort of like brings it together for us. Yes, I said serendipitous. And so I think that's really all we focus on. I mean, you will get new fans if you do a great show. You will satisfy old fans if you do a great show.
Yeah. You were one of the first bands to actually use that visual medium and viral social media thing to get big. I mean, do you see, not that you're pioneers, I mean, you are pioneers, but now everybody's kind of using the model that you guys kind of set forth. So I just want to know how you see the social media space now, and part B, you know, I mean, any plans to kind of, you know, is there any pressure to follow up what that success was?
Do you want me to take it? Because I'm gonna be real.
Be real.
I think we were very lucky with the Free Hugs video. It wasn't a pioneering thing. I think the reason it connected was because it was real. It was just a present that I made for a friend of mine, and happened to use the band song, and it just worked. It was the right thing.
Very
organic place, yeah. And
but it's true.
But it did,
really
and
did, yeah.
so what happens is you create something that means something, that connects with everyone, and everyone else looks at it and then tries to achieve the same thing because it's a viral video. It was made for nothing. So then a lot of everyone, and I would probably be the same way. This isn't about the individuals that are making it, but what's happening now is so much traffic on the internet. There are so many videos and so many people who can make, you know, songs in their basement, and every once in a while there'll be a good song, but most of the time people are focusing more on promoting what they're doing rather than doing what they're doing. And so that's why we took so much time to make the record, because we thought, well, we're in such a fortunate position. We have a record company and we have an album coming out of 12 songs, where most people get to release one song in a video and hope that it connects. And, you know, we actually have this great opportunity to make something that people are going to hear. We have an opportunity to say something. So we took responsibility for it, which is that you have to make something of quality, and try to make something of quality at least. And now we've finished it, and now we're promoting it, and 4 years later, since Tripolar, there are so many more, it's endless amounts of websites to promote your stuff through, and it's almost overwhelming. But if you could spend 24 hours a day trying to promote what you do and never be enough. But people aren't spending enough time creating what they're promoting. So you have these songs, they all sound the same, or they have the same production style because you use the plugin or the drum sample or whatever. And I just would love to hear people making great stuff, because then you wouldn't have to promote it as much, it would stick out. Game plan's touring, man. sickpuppies.com. All dates are on the website. We're just going to be touring. We're going to be doing stuff like this, just letting people know about the music.